It's a little bit after 4 now on Monday, July the 29th, 2019. Still out here at the Columbus, Ohio State Fair. And on the other side of the fair, on the independent side, there was another booth owned by Rob Wren. This is one of his head artists, Tom Faraci.
Hello.
Also, the president, is that right? President?
Vice President.
Yeah, Vice President of ISCA, or the International Society of Caricature Artists, the competition I'm going to be at later this year. So, I wanted to get a good story from Tom. I'm sure he's got a few.
I do. It takes a while for me to like pull them up from the recesses of my brain because I try to black out most of the horror stories, but
as do we all.
Yeah.
So just to give a quick little background, how long have you been doing caricature and what got you started?
I've been doing this for 10 years. I started out at Cedar Point in Ohio. I always would go there and watch the artist draw as a kid, and I was just kind of always fascinated by it and inspired by it. And then of course I had, you know, my earlier influences of Mad Magazine and cartoons,
which just ended,
like that.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah, it's, you know, some of my colleagues within the magazine are telling me that it's nothing's official, nothing's set in stone.
Well, I mean, they said a bunch of times that this is our last issue.
Yeah, they're doing something weird. Like,
are they gonna just?
It's from what I understand, they're pulling it from newsstands, but it's going to be direct mailers only, so only by subscription. But there's
still going to be new material.
Some.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to be using some old material, some new material, but they haven't said anything officially about it, so I don't know. Like,
we'll see. I'm just noticing too that you have a tattoo of flux capacitor on your arm. Let's get a look at that. Flux capacitor. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. I'm a nerd, you know. That's why.
All right, so now that we've had the introductions out of the way, go ahead and take it away. Let's hear the story.
Yeah, so I'm going to take you back to like one of my earliest days at Cedar Point. No, back in 2009. So like I said, I've been doing this 10 years now. This is one that one of my colleagues back at Cedar Point loves to rip me about every time he sees me because he's the one who had to deal with the fallout.
Oh, aren't these always the best?
And I actually learned a new detail about it the last time I visited him. So I'll tell you what happened. So when I was a young budding caricature artist, I knew, you know, some of the basics of like facial structure and drawing, you know, likenesses and all that. And, you know, I was, you know, okay for doing it for just a couple months at the time. And this is going to be the story of my first reject as a new artist. And
okay, now a reject, for those of you who don't know, is when you reveal the drawing to someone and they say, that doesn't look like me, I refuse to pay for it, and they leave.
Basically.
That's a reject.
Yeah. So this one caught me completely off guard, and I'll tell you why. So this woman brings her daughter over, and she wants me to draw her as a princess. And so I'm doing this drawing of this girl. She's like, a 4-year-old girl. She's little, and I ask her to smile. I draw her smile, and she has a really like big gummy smile. I can see the gum lines in the teeth, and so I draw them in there. That's where it started to go awry, and I didn't realize it. So this thing was over before I knew it. It was a reject before I knew what was even happening. So I'm drawing this girl, and the mom's over, like.
What you're hearing go by is helicopter rides. $40 a person. Anyway.
Yeah, it's good at interrupting us.
Yeah.
I ran into that problem with my movie too. Like every time we like try to film someone's either the marching band or the helicopter.
Marching band or
that would like
ride noises or something.
So I'm drawing this girl, and her mom's off behind the easel. She's like talking on her phone or something. She comes over. I'm maybe like halfway through coloring this picture, all right? And she looks at it, and she's mad. She's furious. She's like,
it's one of those instantly mad?
Yeah, she's like, oh, no, how dare you? She's like, my daughter's 4-year-old. How dare you do that to her? You're making her look like a vampire. I'm like, I'm making her do what? I'm like, I don't understand. Like, literally, she probably thought I was playing dumb. I literally had no idea. She's like, no way, nah, she's not getting that drawing. She's like, pulls her, walks away. I'm like, ma'am, I don't understand. Like, maybe if I finish coloring. She's like, no way. I'm gonna go talk to. Where's there a manager? And I'm like, oh, there's a booth over here at the airbrush stand, you know, and so my poor buddy Nick, he was assistant manager at the time, and he might have even just been like a supervisor at the time. He had to deal with this poor woman who thought I was drawing her poor daughter as a vampire.
Okay, I'm going to predict that what it was is that it was before the gums were painted pink. She thought the gums were fangs.
Yes.
I have actually had this one happen.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I had that happen, you know, maybe a month or two into my career as a caricature artist, and I had no idea. I always thought you draw the gums with a little wavy
Right,
forms,
yeah.
and the teeth, the negative space spills in the teeth, but without, you know, any kind of defining marks to make the teeth, they can look like bangs if you're kind of looking at two
You're making my
competing-
daughter into a vampire.
Yeah, and so I was like, I was baffled. I had no idea. And so Nick had to deal with this angry woman
Oh,
complaining
my
about
goodness.
her drawing. And my manager, Brad, ended up coming over and drawing the girl, you know, for free.
Oh, so they got it
Just like-
redone?
Yeah, they got it redone.
For free?
Yeah. So the manager,
Oh.
he handled the situation. Well, you know, this is Cedar Point. It's a corporate environment. They're more interested in the you know, that the customer is always satisfied.
Yeah,
customer's
that they're
always
happy
right.
when they leave.
Which I understand. I'm totally
Yeah.
behind that. But I did not understand the conflict at the time. He did, and my supervisor did. She explained it later because
Yeah.
she showed me on the picture what would have saved it was like some dashes between the teeth. And I'm like,
Right, yeah.
okay, that's what she was talking about. She was seeing something I wasn't even seeing and mad about something I was doing that I had no idea I was
Yeah.
doing. So, this is the new information that Nick gave me. I was up at Cedar Point working for opening day, just like helping them out, and Nick brings up this story again, and he's like, and then the woman comes over to the character stand and she asked to see the drawing, and I threw it in like the demo pile. I wrote reject on it, and I had drawn a bat symbol on the drawing because she said I made her look like a vampire, and so I drew like some bats or like the Batman symbol or something.
Yes.
And I don't remember doing this. I don't remember, but I did it after the drawing was rejected, so I was just being sassy about it. I'm just like, here's a bat. And stupid
Because
vampire
Batman was inspired by Dracula.
drawing. Was he?
Yes, he was.
There we go. Well then, and that in turn inspired my terrible drawing. And so she complained about that, furthering the like.
Oh, she saw it after the rejection,
She saw-
in the rejection pile,
Yep.
with your sassy little...
Because she was trying to
Bat
explain
symbols.
what was wrong with the drawing
And she was-
to the managers, but
Oh
she
my
saw
goodness.
it after I'd already
But they're not supposed to see it at that point.
No, I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't know anything. I was just like, you know, as a new artist, you kind of got to develop a thick skin, and I had a bit of a chip on my shoulder when it came to reject. So that was me.
We
just,
all do when we start off.
yeah, I was dealing with that. I was blowing off steam. But yeah, so I didn't find out about this till this year that I actually had like defaced the drawing, and then she saw it and got even more mad about it because then she furthered her thought that it was intentional.
Was this after she had already gotten the free drawing?
I don't remember at what point, but it was.
Because I'm thinking that may
it
have
just-
been like, we got a free drawing, but now I'm angry again.
I think it was before she got the drawing
Maybe
redone.
that's why they gave her
but-
the free drawing.
But yeah, poor Nick and Brad, they had to deal with the fallout of this woman twice,
Oh, man.
and I just learned about that like 2 months ago that I had gone that far with it.
So now that you're like really good, and I'm gonna go ahead and splice in some footage of him doing a drawing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, just to kind of give you guys an idea of just how good he is at this point. How often do you get one now? Say per year.
You know what?
get a rejection.
I was
Because it
lucky-
still happens to us.
I was lucky enough to go all last year without a reject. That was really nice. That was the first year that's ever happened.
Yeah.
This year, I got one reject, and then that customer I told you about while I was doing that last sketch, that was as close to a reject as you can get without, he ended up buying the drawing,
He
but I
bought
wasn't
it.
sure what was going to please him.
Okay, yeah.
So
Draw me with shorter hair. Don't draw my mustache.
Yeah. So-
Draw me without smiling. Or
you know, 1 or 2 a year is probably not unheard of. I'm happy to go with none, but yeah. So, you know, it happens. It still happens. You just,
Tom Richmond gets
brush it off.
rejects.
Yeah,
Joe
exactly.
Bloom gets rejects.
Joe Bloom wrote the book on rejects.
He actually likes getting rejects, I think. I think he almost tries to make it happen sometimes.
It used to be, you know, so like as a tangent on that, about 2 years after I'd started, I was working down at Busch Gardens in Florida. I spent some time there, and a lot of the artists at that time were, you know, they were a little experimental, you know, with their drawings, and they
As you do at Busch Gardens.
There was some pride in getting rejects at that part. They fostered like this, and the manager Dave hated it. He's just like, I wish people didn't like try to get
rejects.
But you know, so I joined in that fun again. Like, you know, had a bit of an attitude, and I was really trying to push it just to entertain myself. But
Yeah.
you know, I've matured since then. You know, I kind of have found my style, found my voice, and you know, I want to actually make people happy with the sketches that I'm happy with. So That's what I'm after.
Well, thank you, Tom. And of course, guys, we are going to see him again at ISCA this year in Memphis.
Memphis,
In
Tennessee.
Memphis, woo! Might even go to Graceland, all that kind of fun stuff.
It's actually at the guest house at Graceland. It's on the Graceland property.
Oh, so we're going to be like right, almost walking distance from Graceland. So we will
it's
definitely
right across the
do
street.
it.
Yeah.
We might even make it a group outing kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it'll be great.
Oh, and by the way, the reason why he's able to keep his nice beard that they made me shave mine off. He doesn't have to wear their crazy get-up is because they are on the independent side.
Yeah, we're lucky. We're the lucky ones. I know.
They're the lucky ones. All right, so that's going to be it for this one, guys. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up like button. Leave comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon so you'll start receiving notifications. And look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you. It is now Wednesday night, about getting close to 2 o'clock in the morning, and I wanted to do a follow-up on Tom Faraci's story. They're all kind of milling around in the background. They're trying to be extras back here. This is Rob Wren over here, and this is Tim. Anyway, we didn't get into it during the story, but I've been YouTubing the life of a caricature artist for the past 2 years. But Mr. Faraci here is making a documentary on the subject.
This is true, yeah.
And so tell us about that. Where can people find it, and where exactly are you in the project right now?
Well, we actually just launched our Kickstarter page today. So I mean, you can go to AmericanCaricature.com, and the link to the Kickstarter is right there. Go to Kickstarter and search American Caricature. Go to Instagram, go to Facebook, find American Caricature. The link will take you to the Kickstarter. So we're everywhere.
They're still goofing back there.
I'm trying to get it everywhere that you know that we have a presence, so that people can find it as easy as possible. But basically, in the process, we are just about done editing. We still got some work to do. We just had our first screening for a select few, including these guys. These guys saw it already. These guys are in it.
Don't stop.
Yeah, we were really happy with the feedback we got from our first screening, so we just got a few changes to make, few edits, few updates, you know, and then some cosmetic tweaks. And we're raising money to get color and sound production finished for the film.
The sound correction
and then
okay.
yeah, and then film festival submission fees and stuff like that.
Okay,
But,
a few other questions.
yeah.
If you're done with the production and you're to the color correction part of it, why are you just now starting a Kickstarter?
Everything has been self-funded up until this point, and we don't have the skills to make it look the way it should look on a movie screen or the way it should look on a TV screen. We're leaving that to the professionals. We can edit it to tell
so
our
you want to
story.
hand it over to the professionals to do that.
And post-production, outsourcing isn't cheap. So we wanted to make sure that we had all the work put in before we started asking people for money.
How long is the movie as far as minutes-wise?
An hour and a half.
Okay, so it's an hour and a half long, and so it's going to be at film festivals for a while.
That's the plan. Yeah, we're shooting for the Cleveland International Film Festival in March. That's our target.
And after that, you could probably order it on DVD.
Well,
is it?
we don't have a distribution plan now, but you can get the digital copy guaranteed through the Kickstarter campaign.
Through the Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah.
Will it ever be on YouTube?
I'm hoping. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping it's on every streaming platform that is out there.
Okay. And what was the name? One more time.
American Caricature.
American Caricature, guys. Okay. So there you go. Now we've successfully plugged
There we go.
your Kickstarter and your documentary while your boss and my boss goof on us from the background.
I appreciate it. They're the stars of the show anyway.
They are. They were in the movie, right?
They are, yeah.
All right.